Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Please.
Aman Tiwari,
Yes, sir.
can you tell me what do you mean by the word Aman?
So the word Aman stands for peace and calm. So
Peace and calm.
yes, sir.
Okay.
And so it has
Has
Arabic.
it any link to Amen?
Uh,
Christians use the word Amen.
yeah, I'm not sure regarding that, sir. But this word has Arabic as well as Sanskrit origins. So yeah, sir, it might have, but I'm not sure right now. Sir.
Not sure. Okay. Now I find that you studied in IIT Delhi
Yes, sir.
and you got very good marks.
Yes.
And you were also very active in other activities, more particularly, I think, in the cultural festival called
Yes, sir.
Rendezvous.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you tell me what do you require to organize a cultural festival?
So, sir, cultural festival is a very large-scale event, especially at a prestigious institute like IIT. So, what is required is to delineate the activities first. So, there are various departments, sir, like the hospitality department for people coming from outside, or the events management department, the security department, the technical department. And what is required the most is, sir, effective coordination between all.
Now, as far as culture is concerned, we say tangible culture and intangible culture. What do you mean by intangible culture?
So, intangible culture, as far as I perceive, sir, it refers to like the various traditions that are present in India. So, for example, the tradition of Ram Leela, especially prevalent in UP, my state, or apart from that, various dance forms present in different states, or something as simple as the chanting of Om.
Fine. Fine. Now, can you please tell me, do you have any sisters and brothers?
Yes, sir, I have a younger brother.
Elder brother?
No, sir.
No.
I have a younger brother who is also studying in the same institute. Sir.
Okay, fine. Now, you worked for some time in Korea.
Yes, sir.
Right? Where were you posted?
So, at the headquarters of Samsung Electronics, sir, in Suwon.
Okay. Now, how did you find the working conditions in Korea?
So, actually, sir, the working conditions in Korea are pretty flexible to say, sir. So, like when I was working in Samsung, I was not particularly required to report at a particular time, let's say at 8 a.m. in the morning or leave at 5 p.m. So, it was flexible, especially because we were in the engineering department. Apart from that, there are very strict regulations related to work timings, sir. So, like nobody can work more than 52 hours a week. The standard is 40, but you cannot reach 52 hours.
Okay, fine. Now, what is the experience that you gained which you think is relevant for India to adapt?
So, as a part of Samsung or as a part of living in South Korea?
Living in South Korea?
Okay. So, sir, some of the experience that I gained was with respect to two things particularly, sir. One was the traffic management there. And apart from that, sir, the waste disposal techniques of South Korea, sir. I found the segregation of waste that is done by the communities there very effective, sir. And the traffic flow is very smooth, sir, with the lane discipline and management. And people in general.
What are the lessons that India can draw from Korea?
Okay. So first of all, sir, there must be more civic sense that must be inculcated among the people, like not to litter in public places and all. Apart from that, I would say, sir, better implementation of things like intelligent traffic management systems are all.
What about the work culture? You didn't mention anything about work
Sir,
culture.
actually, work culture of South Korea is notoriously famous for pressurizing people, sir. So, in Samsung Electronics, I did not face it because now there are strict laws. But still, sir, in small industries, people are forced to work for long hours. I mean, like working till 2 a.m., then again reporting at 8 a.m. next day. So, I don't think that should be copied, sir.
I find that you have appeared for the Naval Academy and
Yes, sir.
yeah. What happened? You were not selected.
Actually, sir, my aim for appearing for the naval exam, the NDA exam, was not primarily selection because my target was more geared towards IIT JEE. I appeared in it because, first of all, my father always wanted me to at least attempt this particular examination. And it was a very good practice for me, sir, as regards to the IIT JEE examination, because there is also a maths component involved.
Your game, you were playing badminton.
Yes, sir.
Do you think India's badminton prowess has been recognized worldwide or not yet?
Sure, sir. It has been recognized, sir. India, in fact, won the Thomas Cup in 2022. Apart from that, medals have been won, sir, in Olympics like Saina Nehwal, PV Sindhu. But yeah, I would say not as much as the countries like China, Korea, and Japan.
What do you think should be done to see that more people take to badminton?
So I would say, first of all, we should have better quality coaches, sir, because that is lacking. Apart from that, infrastructure should be distributed more diversely, not just in cities like Delhi, Hyderabad, or Bangalore, sir. Yeah, these two should be the priorities, sir.
Okay. Aman, this is your second attempt or third attempt?
So this is my first attempt, sir.
First attempt for civils.
Yes, sir.
You hail from Lucknow,
Yes, sir.
UP.
Yes.
UP has produced several prime ministers.
Yes, sir.
You start with Nehru and gave 2 minutes about their traits.
Sir, can you repeat the question?
How many prime ministers UP have produced?
Okay, sir.
And you start with Nehru, give 2 minutes about each one of them.
Okay, so starting with Jawaharlal Nehru, sir, he was MP from the Phulpur constituency in UP. Then, sir, we move on to Lal Bahadur Shastri. So he was also from UP only. And then one can talk about Miss Indira Gandhi. She was also from Rai Bareli constituency. Then Chaudhary Charan Singh, sir, who was awarded with Bharat Ratna recently. Then we can talk about also Rajiv Gandhi, who was from Amethi constituency. Then Vishwanath Pratap Singh, he is also served as the CM of UP. And Atal Bihari Vajpayee, he was from the Lucknow constituency. And a recent Prime Minister, though not from UP, but still has his constituency in Varanasi, sir.
Prayagraj, nowadays they are going to celebrate the Kumbh Mela.
Yes, sir.
What are the main traits of these agoras?
Sir, Agoras, as far as I have seen certain documentaries, they believe in what you can say tantric practices, sir. So,
Whether we should support it?
sir, I don't think we should be interfering in that, but as long as they are not breaking any law and order situation, I think they should be free to practice. Otherwise, there might be some accusations of interference in religion, sir. Although practice like cannibalism should be strictly prohibited.
You have studied from IIT Delhi. When was it established and who are the prominent alumni?
Sir, IIT Delhi was established in 1961, if I am not wrong, sir.
Correct.
And some of the prominent alumni would be Sir Sachin Bansal and Binni Bansal. They were the founders of Flipkart. Apart from that, Mr. Raghuram Rajan, he has also served as the RBI governor. And then various other founders like Mohit Aaron, he is the founder of Cohesity, American firm. And then Vinod Khosla, founder of Sun Microsystems, sir. So these are some of the alumni.
You have taken optional as mathematics.
Yes, sir.
What is the contribution of India for zero?
Sir, actually zero for the first time, some say figures in Aryabhatiya, the book written by Aryabhat, sir. He also gave the place value system. Apart from that, a person named Brahmagupta, he wrote Brahmasput Siddhant, and he gave how to do mathematical operations with zero. So these are the
Without zero, how they have calculated?
that is something I'm not sure, sir, before zero what was the norm, sir. But
Yeah. Then coming to the different services,
yes.
What is this IDES?
So I think IDES is the Indian Defence Estate Services,
What
sir.
are the duties of the department?
So I think they are responsible for the management of the cantonment areas around the country. So they are more concerned with what happens in the cantonment areas.
You mentioned about the songs in your hobby.
Yes.
What are the songs you are mostly interested in?
Sir, actually, it's a blend of the songs that are produced in the modern era, somewhere around the 2000s, and some of the songs that are very popular, the old songs like "मेरे सामने वाली खिड़की में"
Can you
or
sing a song?
yes, sir, sure. मेरे सामने वाली खिड़की में एक चांद का टुकड़ा रहता है, अफसोस ये है कि वो हमसे कुछ उखड़ा उखड़ा रहता है.
Aman Tiwari. So you stayed in South Korea for about 2 years, no? So how do you think that why South Korea has become a developed nation? It was also a very backward country till 1980. What made South Korea to become a developed country within a short span of time? And one question. Second is, have you heard about the word Seaman Andang?
So can you repeat?
Seaman Andang. Since you stayed in South Korea, have you ever heard of this word? Seaman Andang. That's South Korean word, rural reconstruction. So, I will just explain why South Korea has become a developed country within a short span of time. Why India could not develop it? Because in 1980, to take the economy of China, India, and South Korea, both are on the same plane. But today, South Korea per capita income is 4 times or 5 times than India. So, what made South Korea to become developed country and rise to such state, rise to such level? Okay.
Sir, I would say the primary role was played by the early economic opening of South Korea, sir. What they did was they were mostly focusing towards the export-driven industrialization, sir. So they established industries like Samsung Electronics somewhere in 1969, sir. Apart from that, sir, very good focus on education. The literacy rate there is almost 99%. There's a lot of graduates in South Korea, sir. So that is also one of the factors that helped them a lot. Apart from that, the hard-working spirit that each and every South Korean imbibes, sir. So I think those three factors played an important role.
Yes, Seaman Andang is a rural reconstruction program in South Korea. On the lines of Seaman Andang in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state, we adopted Janmabhoomi programs. So that was the time. Okay. Second thing is that South Korea has very good educational system. So where they emphasis much on the skill formation and skill development. South Korea has no iron ore at all. They import entire iron ore from other countries and they process it, and they are now leaders in the microchip and computer and other things because of that electronics industry has come up there, and automobile industry is also there. Yeah. So second question is, my question is that we are since from Lucknow, Sara has talked about culture. So Lucknow is known as the cultural center and it is called as a city of Nawabs. Can you throw some light on the what's the contribution of these Nawabs for the culture?
So, sir, as you pointed out rightly, Lucknow is called the city of Nawabs primarily because it was the seat of the Nawabs after Nawab Asafuddaulah changed the capital of Awadh from Faizabad to Lucknow. So since then, a lot of patronage has been given to various dance forms, sir, like Kathak. So that has become very popular. Apart from that, you can talk about various mushairas that take place in Lucknow. And sir, then Lucknow is also very much famous for its food delicacies. So that also forms a part of the culture of Lucknow. And in general, sir, the Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb, the spirit of tolerance that Lucknow imbibes. Since independence, there have hardly been any riots, communal riots in Lucknow, sir, when UP faced a lot of riots. So that I would say has contributed a lot in preserving the culture.
Okay, so our Prime Minister is talking about Vikasit Bharat by 2047. So what vision India should have to become a Vikasit Bharat by 2047?
So India first of all should focus upon skill development, sir, because in the future the theoretical knowledge alone would not suffice, sir. There should be a lot of emphasis on skill development. Apart from that, we need to focus upon employment generation, sir, because youth employment is still quite high in the country. And then public infrastructure, sir, has to continue, and the government will have to bear some of the what you can say. It should become the torch bearer in that sense. So development of national highways, expressways, those should continue. And Apart from that, sir, education policy, the national education policy that also has a lot of elements that can help in Viksit Bharat.
Aman, like you have taken maths as optional for the mains. Generally, the perception is maths is a very difficult subject. Even from IITs and NITs, other engineering colleges, they opt for a subject in humanities, okay, or social sciences. What prompted you to take mathematics as a optional in the mains?
So first of all, my natural inclination towards mathematics, I have always been a science student, sir, in my 11th, 12th also. So I have studied mathematics, not only for the school years, but also for the IIT JEE examination. And apart from that, sir, my optional was electrical engineering. And it also involved a lot of mathematical concepts like the Fourier transform, the Laplace transform and all.
Yeah, yeah.
And mathematics optionals are also incorporated physics, some statics, dynamics, which I have already
Yeah,
done.
yeah. So what is meant by real analysis?
So real analysis can said to be the analysis of various numbers that lie on the real line system, sir. So they can be rational numbers, irrational numbers, or anything that are not complex numbers, sir. So that can be.
Very recently, I was reading one newspaper which defined actually zero and infinity
So
in a very, very simple way, which I really loved it. So, what actually is the meaning of zero and what is the meaning of infinity?
So zero, I would say, is something that it does not exist, sir. So unless and until you place some digit in front of it, sir. So zero by itself is nothing, but if you place one in front of it, sir, it becomes 10. If you keep on placing zeros, sir, at the right hand side, and the number will keep on increasing. So zero has significance there, but alone by itself, nothing, sir. And infinity is something that is limitless or boundless. So simple example would be, people say division by 0. So if you take a number like 4, keep on subtracting 0, you will never reach the point where you can say, okay, now the subtraction has finished. So infinity is limitless in that sense.
Yeah. Actually, that definition which I read was really good. Okay, this is all we read in the college,
Yes.
learn in the college and all. So the definition which was given is zero is the number which is lower and lower, which is countable. So so actually it is within the countable limit.
Mm-hmm.
So infinity is a higher and higher number which is countable. So the entire continuum is such that whatever you said actually it will come to that. So that is a definition which I really loved.
Okay. Sure, sir. I will be.
Because even for example, pedagogically, I should have said the same thing. But actually, it's a countable thing. So if it is not there, we just say 10 to calculus, okay, 10 to,
Yes,
10
sir.
to, okay. So you are tending to infinity, tending to zero.
Yes, sir.
But it is countable. Okay.
This is certainly thought provoking.
No, in fact, I was, for example, I'm also a mathematics student, but really I liked it. About 3 to 4 days ago, I went and I was the chief guest for a school annual day function. And the theme of the function was virtue, okay? The foundation for future. I really liked that theme. So, ethics is actually one of the important papers for you in civil service mains. So, what is virtue? What is the definition of virtue?
So, virtue, I think, is something which is related to the intrinsic qualities that a person has. So, let's say if a person is very compassionate, then he embodies that particular value, sir. And virtue is something which you cannot generate or fake. I think it gets inculcated from your very childhood and stays within you.
So, what are the benefits of being virtuous? Okay,
So,
or virtue based? Okay.
So benefits of being virtuous is, I believe, whatever you do, you are not lying to yourself, sir. So if I have integrity as my virtue, sir, I will always remain what one can say guilt-free, because whatever I will do it from my heart, sir. And it will not be like I am faking anything or I have to pretend to be someone else. So yeah, sir, a virtuous person has those benefits.
So regarding South Korea, as a part of phase 4 training program for IAS officers, I think long time ago, more than 10 years ago, we went and then we were there for almost a month there. I think it was under KDS, Korea Development Institute. So what actually I could see at that time and now what actually is happening in Korea, there is a sea change. Okay, politically it has become the hotbed. If you look at international affairs, everybody actually is somewhat circumspect. So we had actually benevolent dictatorship previously, which bulldozed like everybody to work hard and then build up this infrastructure. So there's nothing like that. In fact, I saw your entire control system we saw a long time ago, where I think more than 1,000 and odd services were real time online. This is more than 10 years ago I'm talking. So what actually should be the turning point, the tipping point regarding the present issue in South Korea?
So, so I believe you are talking about the political
Politically,
situation.
yes.
So the tipping point would be the recent declaration of, I think, the martial law. Although before that also there were a lot of things like the opposition not letting budgets getting passed in their parliament and blocking bills and all. But the tipping point would be, sir, the martial law declaration, which the president said was to eradicate the communist forces and those who are helping North Korea.
Now, do you think that actually this sort of a revolution was envisaged 10 years ago?
Uh, Not sure, sir, because 10 years ago I was not very aware about the political situation. But I think South Korea has a history of martial law. Maybe because in 1961 also there was martial law imposed and a coup done in South Korea. So maybe because of the activities and the massacres that took place in South Korea.
So in South Korea, we have religions and all. So there are people who are professing what they say that we don't have a religion. You should have heard about it in South Korea.
Yes, sir. Many
Why
people.
actually this peculiar phenomenon?
Actually, sir, many people there worship their ancestors during festivals like Chuseok. So they don't profess their faith towards any particular god. Almost 60% people are atheists there, sir. So I think it might be because of Chinese influence, because there also things like Taoism and Confucianism are there, which believe in ancestor worship.
So why is the suicide rate very high in South Korea?
So primarily because of the rigorous education system, sir. All the students after 12th have to compulsorily give an exam, sir. Like we have IIT-JEE, they also have an exam for university entrance, and that is very hard, sir, to clear. Especially to get in the top 3 universities, SKY, the South Korean University, the Yonsei, and the one more university, sir.
I think you know that BRICS Summit was held in the month of October 2024, right? So can you say that what was the main theme of the BRICS Summit and what are the key outcomes of BRICS Summit? Third is, in what way those outcomes will be beneficial for India?
So the BRICS Summit was held in Kazan, sir, in October, and the theme, I'm not aware exactly what the theme was, but I think it broadly might have revolved around the main aim with which BRICS was established, the reform of the international governance institutions. And apart from that, there was a lot of focus on de-dollarization, so that international BRICS currency could be set up, sir. But I don't think that could materialize, although there is growing propensity towards conducting trade in their own domestic currencies. If this is materialized, sir, it could benefit India because it will reduce the reliance on dollar. Apart from that, we will be able to do more trade with Russia in the ruble rupee mechanism.
Okay. So, in the context of globalization, what are the emerging national security challenges for India?
Sir, okay.
And what are the initiatives that have been made by Government of India to face these challenges?
So
especially to strengthen the national security
okay.
in Indian context?
So on the let's talk about sir the economic front. First of all, there is the problem of money laundering, sir, which has been growing out of proportions because of various shell companies set up in jurisdictions like Cayman Islands or the Bahamas.
Yeah.
So government has taken steps like strengthening the PMLA, and apart from that, signing the agreements with the other countries for information sharing. Then, sir, if we talk about the security issues, like with respect to the border, there has been a lot of arms that are being going to the training camps of organizations like Hizbul Mujahideen or LET on the border. They are getting China-made weapons, US-made weapons, and the government is again strengthening the intelligence systems like RAW and IB in order to ensure effective detection. And apart from that, sir, what I could think is the drug smuggling,
Yeah.
which is has grown a lot, sir.
Okay, good. Then recently, the concept of Global South Summit. What is that Global South? What exactly meant by Global South, and how India can provide the leadership for these Global South countries?
So Global South as a concept was for the first time came into picture through the line known as branded line, sir. So it divided countries on the basis of their relative economic prosperity. So a lot of countries which you see below the equator, in fact some of the countries like Mexico and all. So there is a line which divides. So that is the Global South. People who are countries who are not relatively very good in a very good condition
Okay.
as compared to the north parts.
Yeah.
And India can lead global south, sir, because India has emerged as the fifth largest economy, poised to become the third largest. And the digital public infrastructure revolution, sir, with UPI, Aadhaar card, all these things can really help the countries in order to give benefits like these direct benefit transfers and reduce leakages and corruption. Apart from that, technical know-how, because India has also been a IT export hub. So if India can help other countries to develop their IT industries, that would be really great.
Yeah. As far as the recent initiatives are concerned, Government of India has replaced CRPC with Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Samhita, right? So, in what way this Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Samhita is different from CRPC?
Okay.
What kind of new elements have been included in this new Bharatiya Nagarik Samhita?
So, sir, first of all, I would say that government is more focused towards reducing the judicial pendency. So, regarding that, certain provisions are there, like defined timelines for various things, like till what time the judge has to announce the decision after the after the statements have been made, or within what time period the medical officer has to submit his report to investigating officer, things like that. Then summary trials have been made mandatory for some petty offences. Apart from that, in general, there is more focus on transparency. So there is video recording for search and seizure operations. Apart from that, there is also...
So, in your view, CRPC is advantageous or the new law is advantageous?
I would say the new law is advantageous, but there are certain things which are problematic, or rather I would say concerning, like the custody period, which can now be within the 90 days. It is original 15 days only, but can be spread over 90 days.
Okay.
So that becomes a problem, sir. So those things should be taken care of.
Yeah, recently there is a discussion and debate on the lateral entry into civil services. Okay. So what exactly this lateral entry into civil services, and do you support this system? And if at all it is put into practice, how it is going to impact the administrative efficiency in India?
Sir, lateral entry refers to the direct recruitment of experts into positions like joint secretary, or maybe in policy making positions in specialized departments. for more effective formulation of policies. And sir, you asked about my opinion, sir.
Yes.
Sir. I would support it because many of the committees that have formed before have supported lateral entry. And how will it affect the administrative efficiency? I would say, sir, with a little training to these people who are coming into the government as to how.
Do you think that those who are selected for this IAS, they are not efficient to take up all these specialized activities related to government of India?
No, sir, I'm not saying that they are not effective. In fact, some of the IAS officers have been very effective in formulating.
Then why there is a need of lateral entry?
So certain departments like departments of science and technology. Now the secretary, I think, should be a person who is a distinguished scientist so that he knows what are the upcoming trends and what policies can be made for that. And apart from that, sir, every person who is coming as a joint secretary has the support of all the IAS officers that are present below him. So they can always provide him support. But ideas, new innovative policies, if some industry expert can come in to show what bottlenecks are there. So this can be really beneficial.
Okay. So since first 5-year plan onwards, Government of India has focused on rural development. In fact, a lot of money has been pumped into rural areas. But in spite of that, almost around 28-29% of the people are below poverty line, right? So do you think that all these development programs have not helped the poorest among the poor in India? What do you think?
So I wouldn't give a statement like that, that the development programs have not helped. They have been helpful, sir. Things like Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, building homes, and Jal Jeevan Mission, which is bringing piped water, they are very essential, sir. And programs like Manrega, which are providing employment. I would say, sir, before the advent of technology, there was some deficiencies in implementation. So our former Prime Minister has remarked that if government spends 100 rupees, only 15 paisa reaches the poor. So these leakages and certain level of corruption, especially at the state administrative machinery, that was responsible for not effective implementation, sir. So benefits have been there.
So to make the programs to be implemented effectively, recently Government of India has taken certain initiatives, as you said, to avoid these leakages. What kind of initiatives were made?
So one I can instantly recall is the Aadhaar enabled payment system in Manrega to make sure that the ghost beneficiaries are eliminated. Apart from that, the tracking of the entire supply chain of PDS with GPS fitting and everything to make sure that grains are not diverted. Apart from that, in general, sir, the Jan Dhan Yojana or opening of bank accounts so that direct income transfer can happen.
So between Manrega and NRLM, which is more suitable to our rural areas?
So,
because there is a lot of criticism against the implementation of Manrega. Okay. So instead of Manrega, we can focus on NRLM, which mostly focus on the skill development as well as self-employment. What is your opinion on these two programs?
sir, at any point of time, I would always support NRLM because that is making people self-sufficient, sir. I'm making developing skills in them and helping developing the self-help groups. People become independent, financially independent by their own businesses. But Manrega is still necessary, sir, because let's say if any mishap happens with business or if the main bread earner is, let's say, disabled due to some reason, there should be some source of employment, sir, for that they can earn money.
This is for unskilled labor.
Yes.
Basically, NRLM requires some skill. Okay, whenever they start their own.
Yeah. So one last question. Yeah, sir has asked about Viksit Bharat. Now, Niti Aayog has come out with a document on vision of Viksit Bharat at 2047, right? In this context, can you highlight 2 or 3 major challenges for the emergence of India as a developed nation by 2047?
Sure.
What are the major challenges for the emergence of India as a developed nation by 2047?
So the first challenge that I would say is education itself, sir, because multiple reports by Pratham, the NGO, ASER, they have pointed out deficiencies in educational outcomes, sir. So that should be plugged. Apart from that, sir, health, because NFHS 5 continuously points out how there are women who are anemic and there are certain deficiencies. Still, maternal mortality rate is higher as compared to the developed nations. And devolution of power to local governments, sir. Because if in the process of becoming developed, our cities become unlivable, sir, that becomes an issue. So municipal government should be empowered, sir, first of all, through functions, by devolving functions, functionaries. These would be. And skill development as usual, sir, that should always continue.
Okay, thank you.
Now let me ask you, India has not done well on the economic front, right? And whatever benefits we have seen is only because giving them loans, and not that they are being empowered to actually earn their own living. How do you react to this statement?
So I would say, sir, again, blank statements like these cannot be held true because people have been empowered. There are startups that are coming up. India is a very big startup ecosystem now, sir. We have unicorns like Ola and companies and other companies like Zomato, Swiggy, all these. And apart from that, sir, yes, sir, to some extent, yeah, loans have been given and these loans have been defaulted with no particular outcomes. But those are some of the challenges which every governing
See,
system.
you are giving them free food,
Yes.
you are giving them certain assured days of employment, and you are also providing some state governments clothing, everything. So what is it that the government has done, or people have been enabled to earn their own living? As long as you are dependent on those, how do you think the nation is improving?
So if you see, government has helped in SHG formations a lot, especially in Andhra Pradesh model. You can talk about that. And the National Rural Livelihood Mission again, sir, helps in the people becoming self-sufficient. Things like food under the Right to Food Act and the Employment Guarantee, all these can act as a very good backups, sir. And they should be there, like they are a social security net in case of any problems. But to say that government has not helped in people earning their own income, I think that would be a little injustice.
Another question I wanted to ask you. See, the lateral entry system has not received as much support as it should have. And there is also a classic case. There was an Indian management coup immediately after independence when they found that with the departure of British officials and the need for economic development, we did not have adequate number of qualified. So there was an attempt to get people, Indians who were working elsewhere in different fields, to come back. Now that did not work out. So do you think, on the same analogy, the present system of lateral entry also will die its natural death? How do you react to this?
Sir, today's India is kind of different from India that was there in the past, sir. And I don't think lateral entry will die the death, because there are people like Nandan Nilekani. He came from private sector, helped in the development of Aadhaar, although it was not strictly lateral entry, but still the contributions from him. And there are people who want to help in policy governance. It's just that there is a little bit of what you can say rules and procedures that you have to follow, which is not in private sector. So if those if they can relaxed, and some more competitive salaries, sir. But the second point, the competitive salaries would not be very much important, because they already have a lot of wealth created through the private sector.
No, India has not actually made good progress everywhere, especially around India, the SAARC nations. You find that no one is happy with India. It means a failure of our political decision making. How do you react to this?
Sir, I wouldn't say so, because there are domestic politics everywhere, sir. In Maldives also, the India Out movement that was there after...
Say, Burma is not cooperating with us. Bangladesh, you know the recent happenings. You know what is happened in Sri Lanka, and you know also what happened in Maldives. You know that we have no good relationships with Pakistan. The only thing, even with Nepal, which is a Hindu nation, there also we are not getting along well. The only country which is still dependent economically is Bhutan. So now how do you react to this, that the entire failure of the Indian Foreign Service? How do you react to this?
So I think these countries remaining unhappy with India would be due to some of the activities or some of the decisions that we have made, especially if we touch upon the 1987 Indo-Sri Lanka Accord, which was not very much appreciated by the Sri Lankan community. But that does not mean that India has never helped its nations.
No, now you look at it. China wants to expand its
Yes.
sway of influence all over the Indian Ocean. Whereas people whom we thought are our friends are allowing them to actually get permanent places in and around India. So now, don't you think it's a failure of Indian diplomacy?
Again, no, sir, I would say, because every country prioritizes its national interest, sir. If they are getting better deal from China, why would they come to India, sir?
Yeah.
So it's up to us
So
to
what
offer.
then should be our answer for that?
Sir, I think the assistance that we show, especially in humanitarian times, like to Sri Lanka, sir.
Humanitarian things is different. That is once in a way an occasion arises. But that should not form the basis for your policy, isn't it?
So in general, we can be more cooperative towards their, or more maybe sensitive towards their domestic political interests.
Or is it that our economic development has not been shared with the neighbors? Two, you have not actually given them real support for their economic development.
Sure, sir. That could be one of the reasons, sir. But I would say, sir, that Bangladesh ranks above India if you compare in HDI or if in the World Global Gender Index, sir. So to say that it has not been shared would be a little injustice.
See, India has not been able to take on Bangladesh as far as exports of textiles are concerned. You understand? So now, why is it that we are not doing well enough even amidst our neighbors, whereas others are doing so well? So what do you think should be done? Because you are a person from an IIT, so you should be able to tell us where we have gone wrong with economic development, and what should be now the measures that we should take to speed up economic development, because today already we are hearing newspaper reports that the rate of growth has come down. So what do you react to this?
Sir, regarding the recent reports, I would say it is a temporary blip, maybe, as also said by Finance Ministry. And regarding economic development, India can maybe revitalize SARC or maybe even use BIMSTEC. That's a very good platform, sir.
Now I want to ask you one thing. Now, what do you want from the board which is sitting here? If you have any doubts, any difficulties, you please ask us. We will try to help you.
So, firstly, I would like to ask that what was my overall, like if you all can comment on my overall performance, and where do you found that I was making mistakes, or maybe if I was being impolite in any manner. So if you can maybe throw some light upon that.
What I think is that your communication skills are good, your confidence level is good, your body language can improve to a certain extent because you are nodding your head too often,
Yes.
and you are looking at everyone. Probably someone has told you that you must look at every one of the board members. So that is one thing which is I could find. Second thing that what I would like is the knowledge of certain topics. While I find you are well up as far as technical issues, other things are concerned, you may have to do a little more homework on Korea,
Okay.
because there are many things which you have missed about Korea.
Okay.
So that is one area, because you have worked there actually.
Yes, sir.
Because the work experience that you had in Korea, how can it be usefully applied in India is something that could be a general question. The other thing that I would actually suggest to you is that you better brush up your knowledge of actually economic development, current affairs, and also international affairs, because international affairs especially is going to become very important in the present context, and you can certainly expect some questions on that.
Sure, sir.
So apart from that, you seem to have done well, but what I would think is you should not be complacent. I
Yes.
think you should actually make some notes, especially on current affairs and also international affairs. These two areas and economic development, what are the steps India should take for economic? These questions they will definitely ask you because you are from the IIT,
Yes.
and you have also had foreign experience. So they would like to see how the experience in Korea, to whatever extent it can be translated into India.
Okay, sir.
You understand?
Yeah.
So these are the things. Apart from this, you have done well, and I think you are confident. So that confidence level you should maintain. And on the day there, only thing is don't actually feel nervous. I could still feel a certain
Okay.
element of nervousness. And then put your hands on your arms of the chair. That is meant for that. You are putting it here all the time. That's not a correct posture.
Okay, sir.
See, you must show confidence is something that I am in position and I am in control of myself. That is not evident in the way your posture is. This is a better posture, that you are considering yourself as equal to the members in the board.
Okay, sir.
This is one point which you should keep in mind. Otherwise, I think you have done well, and I am sure with a little more preparation, you should be able to make it. And if you can modulate your, because you are speaking a little faster than normal.
Okay.
So a little slowing down of the way you are talking might help actually.
Sure.
These are the things which I think.
Yeah, then because the first time, what is your performance in maths? Because other things actually sir has told you. So maths actually make or actually break. I'm telling you, that's what. So anything above 270, you're in the list.
Okay, sir.
Above 270.
So I feel like my performance has been good. I'm expecting a score of above 280 plus or something.
Then actually I think he'll be there in the list. 280. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.